Hello, this is Lisa Rusczyk and Jennifer Love with the podcast We Are All Psychic. Hey Jennifer, how you doing today?
I'm good, Lisa. How are you?
I'm great. And do you think we're all psychic?
Of course, we're all psychic.
So we of course are all psychic. And listeners, this is an audio only podcast. We are starting a new series with Jennifer Love called Love Healers. So what we're doing with Love Healers is I'm going to ask Jennifer for advice about issues that I've had in love and relationships. And she's going to give me advice. And then next thing is very exciting is that you listeners can write us at our emails or in the Q&A, which I will put up with the podcast on Spotify. Or you can send us a recording of any questions you might want to ask us, especially Jennifer, about love and relationships or issues you're working through, anything that you want help with. We want to hear about it. So I'm going to be real raw and honest in this podcast with Jennifer Love and ask her some stuff. And the thing is with love and relationships, it takes a while to heal certain patterns, issues, stuff like that. And Jennifer Love, I want to tell you that over the last 3-4 years I've known you, you have helped me with my love life almost every day. I think it's something you said. I think it's
That's
something I've
great.
learned from you, or I'm sitting there talking to you. So thank you.
And
And I'm glad
it's
you're going to help me with this.
and it's definitely not a one and done
No.
process. We're
No.
all constantly learning and growing, and myself included. So it's not that I don't put myself out there as like a guru or you know, anything, but it's just I'm a teacher, and these are some things that I've learned. And so I just try to help people with some of the things that I've learned.
And you've helped me, and I know you've helped listeners with your love series. So this will be a new one we're doing. And first of all, I want to let you know our emails. I will put our emails in the description of the podcast as well. My email is Lisa, Lisa, at wereallpsychic.com. And you don't put an apostrophe. Weird, because that doesn't do that. And Jennifer?
I'm Jennifer at thejenniferlove.com. There's two N's in Jennifer.
Yes, Jennifer at thejenniferlove.com and Lisa at Lisa. We're all psychic. So we want to hear from you really badly because we love you.
Yeah. Any little question, any big question, any taboo question,
Yes,
it's all
exactly.
good.
It's all good. So we're going to start out. Jennifer and I talked a little bit about what I've been going through in the before the podcast, and she's well aware of my love life situations. Because I go to Jennifer Love a lot for help with my love relationships. And if you've been listening to the podcast, I've been through a lot of different ones, situations for love, and especially in the last few years. Now, listeners who don't know, I have been married twice. I divorced my second husband in 2021 in August. We split. And then I started dating a man. Before that, when I was younger, I had long-term relationships. I always had, a year or 2 years. When you're 22, that's a long time, And and then the marriage was at 26, and that divorce was at 32. My second husband I married at 35 or 35, I think. And then we divorced when I was 46. So, or 47. 46. So we were married 11 years. And then I dated a very good friend, and that has not worked out. And it was something that Jennifer helped me through a lot of things with, and as well as a lot of other friends of mine and readers. It's really good to talk about this stuff with people if you have someone to talk to, like us. Jennifer, if you want to
If you want to hear my story, I have a video. It's on my YouTube channel.
tell your
Look it
story.
up. My social is on my website. Oh, my story's a bit long. I don't want to,
Maybe for the next episode, we'll get into your
story for sure.
So, listeners, we kind of narrowed it down what I experience in relationships. I told her I see the best in people, and I know they're not necessarily at their best place or being their best self, and no one's their best self all the time. Otherwise, we'd all be ascended masters. But in this case, Jennifer kind of narrowed it down to that I have like a codependency issue, and it's not this broad, but in general, and she's right. I have wanted my lovers to be that best self I see. And I'll put, like I told her, I put the blinders on when they do display bad behavior, what I consider bad behavior, putting me down, disregarding my emotions, and ignoring me,
Yeah.
or lying,
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
like that. I will just be like, well, because they apologize so well sometimes, right?
Right.
Yeah. And you believe because you want to, because you see the best in their best self would apologize, right? But it is a codependent kind of issue that I've had in relationships in the past. I've never been with someone who was an addict like that, until like a really hardcore addict, let's put it that way. I was a drinker when I was younger, a big time drinker. So I was more the person who the other person would be like taking care of until
Mhm.
2013 when I quit drinking very heavily. So, Jennifer has said, well, you had been in relationships before, another relationship more recently with someone who drank a lot. And I was like, yes. And that's where she kind of narrowed down the codependency. And in that relationship, I've been given that thought since you've said that. And he did forget a lot of stuff. He didn't remember things a lot of the time, the promises,
Mhm. Mhm.
because, he was drinking when he made the promises, I think. And then when he was sober, he didn't always remember.
Mhm.
So and I would let that go. I would, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
don't upset the water, or I would blow,
Right. And that's a
or
codependent
I would
thing.
blow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean,
question.
codependents don't want to, like you said, upset the apple cart. You want to maintain
Yes. And I'm
um,
a
the
Taurus.
status quo
And
at
as a
all times.
Taurus, we like that stability and everything to be nice and even
Right.
so
And that's usually learned in childhood when you
yes,
have one or both alcoholic parents,
I
because
did have an
you
alcoholic
you
parent.
learn as a child that when the alcoholic parent is drunk or asleep or just not in your vicinity, if you stay out of the way, stay quiet, uh, the alcoholic parent will not get in your face, they will not explode, they will not be abusive to the other parent, whatever. So you learn to kind of make yourself small, make yourself invisible, be quiet, not upset the apple cart, because that's how you've learned to not upset the alcoholic parent. So that
Absolutely.
is what we call codependent behavior, is because your behavior is dependent on the other person's actions.
Exactly.
So that's learned in childhood. And then you
It
just
was.
carry it with you as an adult.
And the
And
thing
it's
is
not anything that,
I did
yeah,
have an alcoholic father, and he was never
so did
abusive,
I.
but he would be weird and funny.
Sure.
But not to my mom. Now, my mom, he would be very loving and just, and it drove her
Mm-hmm.
nuts,
Mm-hmm.
because he wouldn't remember it. He didn't know what he was doing, and
Yeah,
you're
not
right. I
all
didn't want to upset
alcoholics
my
are
mom.
abusive. Not all alcoholics are abusive. It's
Yeah, I
just,
kind of
it's just,
wanted
yeah,
to not upset my mom because she would be the one
sure.
who'd get upset because dad was a happy drunk, and she didn't if I was kind of like I felt this way anyway, that I was the target of her misdirected anger at him sometimes. So
Yeah,
I would not want to rock that boat either, you know,
right. So you're just learning how to cope as a child in
and
this like
just stay out of the way.
mysterious adult mysterious adult dynamic you're just trying to like stay out of.
Yes.
You're
Yes, and
just a
not be
kid.
the sometimes
Yeah.
it would be all be directed at me because they weren't dealing with each other,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And or I was ignored, because
Yeah.
they were dealing with their stuff.
Yeah.
And for example, I was very depressed by the time I hit 12 or 13. I started getting very depressed and anxious and and my empathy was so strong and I didn't know what that was. Talk
Mm-hmm.
about this on the
Mm-hmm.
podcast, listeners. And so I really thought everything was my fault. I really felt like, not that my dad drank. I didn't think that was my fault. I just thought he loved to drink. But it was, I would say, through like eighth, ninth, 10th grade, I felt like I had to stay out of everything. And I believed them when they told me things about myself that were the problem, not them.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was around 11th, 12th grade into there, I started to see more. what was really going on, but it still hurt and I still tiptoed.
Yeah.
You know, I was ready to get out of there when
For
college.
sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I actually ran
Yeah.
for a sorority so I could leave earlier. I didn't stay in the sorority. Yeah.
Well, and we learn how to cope to survive. It's like a big
Yes.
survival instinct, right? So you did the best you could with where you were
Yeah.
at the time. And now you're trying to relearn how to love yourself in a better
Yes.
way.
Yeah. And
So that's
especially at
very
48, I'm turning
admirable.
49 in what, 7 days? It's a long time to be that way and realizing it. And I realized it when I was with my second husband that I had the codependent issues.
Mhm.
And I just kind of I would think about it and be like, nah, it's not worth dealing with. Or I try to work it out, and of course, it's not going to get worked out. He would not let it work out, or it would
When
work
I,
out for a week,
yeah, yeah. Well, and
and
I
then
talk to people all the time who are like, well, I'm this age or that age or the other age. And I just wanted to tell people that, I was 40 when I started doing this work.
yeah,
So it's
yeah,
never too late to
it
kind
isn't
of
ever too
figure
late.
figure out your stuff and try to work on yourself and better yourself and learn how to love yourself, because it's never too late to fall in love and never too late to meet the right person. I see people who meet their right person when they're 70. And yeah,
Yes,
maybe they
clients
could have maybe
too.
they could have figured it out sooner, but hey, at least they figured it out now.
Yeah,
And now they have another good 20, 30 years to like live their life in happiness.
yeah,
So it's never too late to kind of do this work and figure your stuff out. So
you're
don't worry
right.
about it if you're 50 years old and you're
Thank
just
you.
going like, oh, now I'm trying to figure out, why I don't feel the way I should, or why I'm unhappy in my relationship, or why am I keep dating the wrong person, or whatever it is. It's not too late.
So, my advice for you, Jennifer. Now, listeners, I have a new boyfriend. And I adore him. Of course, it's 2 months now, and 2 month mark, everything's great, right? So, Jennifer, the advice I really need is how do I continue to work on being aware of this tendency of mine to be attached to someone, and what they're feeling is more important than what I'm feeling. Although I'm not like that as much now, but I do need advice about that going deeper into this relationship. This person is really special to me. I'm crazy about him. His name's Eric, listeners. You saw his podcast, maybe. And it's just grown and grown. Now he's a very positive thinker. It's very different than anyone I've dated before. He's very positive. He's very fun. He's a Leo sun, Sagittarius moon, Leo rising, Venus in Leo,
Wow,
Mars
Leo, Leo,
in
Leo.
Gemini. Mars is in Gemini, and my Venus is in Gemini. So that's a really good fit. So and anyway, the advice is how do I move forward with this relationship without getting that way again and seeing the truth and being able to address it without, well, with this person I feel like I can address things without him making it my fault, which is kind of a past thing that would go on with me and my exes. I don't think he would do that though, but you never know. It's 2 months in, right? So how can I
Yeah.
look?
So going back to the stages of relationships, so you're 2 months in. For so the dating expert Matthew Hussey says there's 4 stages of relationships. So there's admiration, where you just kind of like look at this person from afar and like, oh, they're cute, I'm gonna go talk to them. And then there's attraction and chemistry, where you like both think you're attractive and you start dating, right? Then there's a commitment stage where you're in right now, like you're
Yes,
dating, it's
we've made
serious,
the
you're
commitment.
you're made the
Yeah.
commitment to each other. And then the fourth stage is compatibility, where you're both, you know, have decided that, you know, we're right for each other and we make a good team together. So that's kind of where you're at, or you're going to be, is that you've decided we are
We have
good for each
decided we
other.
are committed and we care
Yeah.
very deeply for each other.
Right.
Yes,
So
we
now you're
say
now
that.
you're going to decide if you're compatible, which is different than commitment.
Yes, you're right.
So you have to decide, like, do you have compatible lifestyles? Like,
Yes.
do you guys stay up all night, or do you wake up really early in the morning? Like, there's two different things. People like Some people are night owls, some people are morning people. Can you get the things that you need from each other? Like some people really need to hear the other person say, your hair is so beautiful and you look really good today, and other people don't need to hear those things. They just need to know that, you know, you're going to hold my hand when we're walking down the street, and that's how I know that you care about me. You're not embarrassed to see me in public, be seen in public and stuff like that. So it's just, what do you need, and can you get that from the other person? Is it verbal? Is it physical? Is it, you know, I need this person to pick me up from the airport. It's super important to me.
Yeah.
Those kinds
Practical
of
things. For some
relationship
people, it's
things.
really most
Can
important
you
thing.
get what you need? Right.
Right.
Um,
So first of all, I have to figure out what I need, maybe, you know?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then pay attention to the things that keep happening over and over and over.
Oh.
Like, you know, oh wow, he always forgets to get the things that I ask for from the grocery store. That's super annoying. He's always leaving his socks in the bathroom. That is super annoying. I really can't stand that. And are these things that you can live with, like the socks on the floor? Okay, I'll just pick them up and throw them in the hamper. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Or does it really bother you and get under your skin? Because some people cannot stand to live with a slob, and it bothers them. Me, myself, I am the slob. So like my boyfriend just has to put up with it. But he's the neat one. I'm the messy one. So he's decided to live with it, and that's fine for him.
That's great.
You know, it's just, you have to decide, like, are these little things going to be big things? Or, and it's for some people, it's like, oh, I just discovered, you know, he's a smoker. I don't know if I can live with that, you know, or I just found out that they smoke pot, like occasionally. If it's occasional, maybe it doesn't bother me so much. Or if he's just going to do it when we go to a concert, not a big deal. Or
if it's something you don't like.
If it's a huge deal breaker, maybe I can't deal with that. So you have to decide, are these little things or big things, and can you deal with it or not? And then really what really matters is like your core values, right?
Right.
Like you know, you're a very spiritual person.
Very.
And probably most of the people listening to this podcast are very spiritual people.
Probably.
And so you need to have someone who very much respects your spiritual gifts, your spiritual beliefs, doesn't belittle that. They don't have to believe in everything you believe in, but they actually have to respect that you believe what you believe.
Absolutely.
And, you know, maybe they don't read the tarot, but, you know, they have to respect the fact that you do and you believe in it. Maybe they don't want a tarot reading, and that's okay. Your boyfriend doesn't have to get a tarot reading, but he has to respect the fact that you do that for your job.
Oh, he loves the tarot readings.
Okay, well, that's fine too.
He wanted a Thoth deck like right away after I gave him a Rider Waite. He's like, I want the Thoth. I love Alistair. He likes Alistair Crowley stories, you know. So okay. I got him one.
Well, it's just, you know, some people are not that evolved yet. And
I know, so I got lucky.
So you just have, and maybe like, you know, crystals, like, you know, maybe sometimes
he loves people the crystals too. I got really lucky.
They don't understand. They don't know what it is. And, you know,
he knows a lot of this stuff already. He's studied philosophy and English and music in college, and he's continued on his life. Like he has told me, and I've watched, we have kind of an unusual situation, listeners. He lives in Nashville and I live in Alabama. In Decatur, Alabama. So I drive up to see him. And who wants to come to Decatur to hang out? Nashville's awesome. I want to live there so bad. So he takes me places, we do all these things, but when I go, I usually go on a Thursday or Friday and stay till Monday or Tuesday every other week. So week's kind of like we live together for a few days, you know, and then we have a week or week and a half apart. So that's really interesting to find out his daily habits right off the bat, you know. And I think they're wonderful and endearing, you know, but sometimes what if I get on his nerve? He is a clean person. He is very clean. I've tried it when I'm there. I try to help that, you know, but I'm kind of in the middle. I'm not really messy, or I'm kind of cluttery, you know. But I have not found one single thing annoying about him yet. And I'm not annoyed by it. I'm not easily annoyed, though. I'm really not. It's when people are mean or cruel or closed-minded that I start.
Right. And you pick up on those things, right? Are they mean to the server? like are they
Right. And
all
he like,
imperious or demanding, then that's like very much a
right. Or
no.
with animals, just like stop,
Correct.
stuff like that. Instead,
Yeah.
him with this man, he's always like,
Are they nice to kids? Even if you want to have
yes,
kids or
yes.
not. Like if someone's mean to a child, I'm like, what is
Oh, that's
wrong
a
with
big,
you?
yeah, it's a big no. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of define what mean is too, because some people
Sure.
are very tricky and manipulative with how they are handling you. We'll put it that way, handling other people. Because mean can be like, you know, you should grow up to be a doctor and stop all that spiritual stuff. To a little 4-year-old who's meditating or something. I don't know. That's just for example. Or to someone mean could be saying, I like you in blue, but I like you better in red or
It
something.
gets super under my skin if someone is condescending to women.
That's what I was just saying, the condescending kind of thing. Yeah. I hate that condescending to women. It's
Yeah.
all over Alabama.
Like, oh, don't worry your pretty little head, sweetheart. I'm like, what did you
Honey.
just say to me?
Yeah. Honey pie.
Yeah. Like,
Oh, don't
excuse
you
me.
worry, honey pie. I got you.
Mm.
I got you. No, you don't.
Yeah. I'm like, mm. I mean, I don't get like offended if the waitress calls me honey. I mean, because they just do that in the South. But like,
The female.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
female is different.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. But like, if some man is like talking down to me, I'm like, excuse me.
Yes, I went to get tires, 2 new tires, used tires, on my car about 2 3 years 2 years ago with my stepson Terry. And I guess I look young, and I guess he thought I was dumb. We were dumb kids, and he was going to charge me $800 for 2 tires and a tire rotation. And I just looked at, and he was being, yeah, sweetie, honey, I'll help you out. And I was just it's just
Mm,
as they take advantage. And Terry didn't know. He really didn't, because he was younger then. He was like 22 or something, and he's never done that. But I mean, I argued with the guy. I was like, he's like, we just want you safe. That's the shittiest thing.
yeah.
We just want
Like,
you safe.
no.
Like, it's just scaring you. We can't do that, what you ask. We just need you safe, so we won't do it. And it's like, you're lying. I just went down the road, got some
Yeah.
tires for $80, So
I
it's just,
just don't. Yeah.
and there are a lot of condescending to women, men. And it's like they're threatened by us ultimately, I think,
Mhm. Mhm.
and you can't point that out, unfortunately. Or you can. Jennifer can. She probably will.
Yeah. I just don't have any time for that.
So, definitely looking for the little things and repetitive things. I like that a lot. Notice what you can and cannot handle. What about the bigger things, like that maybe are subtle at first and then they start the bigger things? For example, with my codependent tendencies, like I need a reaction from someone sometimes, like a love. Yeah, I need love. I need love. I need the love, and I don't. I can just give it to myself. Now, something we've talked about on the podcast a lot
Mhm.
is love yourself, then love someone else. You can't love someone until you love yourself. And I kind of think it's like you can only love someone to the extent you love yourself, or
Right.
I'm saying, because I'm never going to completely love myself until I have ascended, but yeah, maybe, I don't know, but it is a lifelong process of getting your note. You change. We all change so much. So I changed. Do I love this now? Do I love what I'm changing into? And I try to always look at that. But to the extent I love myself is a lot different than when I was with those other people. When I was younger, I didn't really care for myself that much. And a lot of it had to do with the way they talked to me. And I believed them. And that's part of codependency.
Mhm.
So, moving forward with Eric, let's say he does do something like that, that maybe brings out that feeling of I need a reaction from him to what how do I phrase this? You know what I'm saying? Like I need a reaction out of
Yes.
him so that I can feel
So
better about the bad behavior. Does that make sense?
whose behavior?
The bad behavior from another person that I'm dating or I'm in love with. If with someone, this is my example of not Eric, but with other people I've
Okay.
been with in
Okay.
the past. Let's say they had some kind of bad behavior, and usually with the kinds of people I've been with, it's very subtle, except for one, but it's very subtly done. What manipulating me, putting me in my place, very subtly.
Mhm.
And I'll be like, okay, because that's where I'm supposed to be. But some part of me is like, this isn't nice. This isn't right. There is a part of my gut saying, I don't like this, and I don't want to rock the boat. But I do need some kind of emotional reaction from this person because I'm codependent, basically. But I need something from them if they're going to hurt me. If it's an apology, or if it's a hug, or if it's an I love you, or whatever, it seems to make it go away. But that's not the truth. It's still there, right? That lingering thing in the air that might, you know what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying?
So even if they said, I'm sorry, you would still feel
No, once they said I'm
that way.
sorry, and I really felt like it was genuine, I'd be satisfied. But I might have a big
Okay.
reaction to something that's not that big too. Um,
Okay.
because but mainly it only happens, I'm only triggered like that where I want this reaction when I feel like they've done me wrong. And they haven't always done me wrong. Sometimes it's just me thinking they have, and I haven't misunderstood the situation. But other times I have not misunderstood the situation and I am told I have, because everybody sees a situation differently, for one thing, and some people don't ever want to be wrong.
Mhm.
And some people they can really work on and talk out things. And some people can do both. And that's when it gets really confusing.
So, from my perspective, where I feel like I've gone wrong sometimes is when I say something to someone and I'm expecting a certain reaction from them and I don't get it.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
But you can't go into an interaction with someone expecting them to do something.
Oh, I'm talking about like in the middle of it. Like no expectations on other people. That's a terrible idea, for them to do stuff for you, unless they said so, unless they promised, it's different. But
Yeah, well, having going into something and expecting some kind of emotional reaction from someone. You can't expect someone to
no, you
have
can't.
an emotion.
How can I work through that? How can I work through? Can you hear the lawn people out there?
No.
Okay, they're driving me crazy. Weed whackers everywhere.
But, love is very non-attached. So
Yes.
attachment is a fear-based love.
Yes, I agree.
So you have to be able to love someone without being attached to them,
And
which is
how
very
how
hard.
can how can you give me advice to work towards that? Because that is what I do. I do get attached in an
Just
unhealthy way.
you have to remember that, what's attractive about you to another person is that you're very stable and mature. You can self-regulate your own emotions and you know your self-worth. So you are an attractive, independent person all by yourself, and you know you're worth loving. So if you're like confident in those things, you're not as attached to the outcome or the romance or the relationship or whatever that is.
Attached to
Because,
an outcome. Yeah.
yeah, you know that even if that relationship ended tomorrow, you're still knowledgeable of your self-worth, you're self-regulated of your emotions, and you are stable and mature.
Yes. Yes.
You're an adult,
And tell yourself
right?
that.
Yeah,
Yes.
you tell yourself that. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not saying you can't have an emotion about it because you can, but your emotions are regulated to the point where you can have it and then let it go.
And deal with it yourself with me personally without needing that reaction from
Right.
external boyfriend
Mm-hmm.
or lover or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Yes,
You
that's
could have your own emotion, but
a
don't
process.
expect any emotion from someone else.
Expectations. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
big thing I have is I did in the past, especially when I was younger, I'd have expectations of them being the same as they were at 2 months,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
You can be disappointed, if they
Yeah.
don't react the way you want them to, but that's okay. You have your disappointment and then it's gone. Then you
Yeah,
let it
you
go.
let it go. You process it, you feel it,
Mm-hmm.
think about it, what it means, and you integrate it and let out the other stuff, the
Mm-hmm.
stuff you don't need anymore. I love that, Jennifer. That's really great
Yeah.
advice. And I will
Yeah.
use that moving forward into my wonderful new relationship. And
But, but also like, remember what I said before. If this is a pattern, and this person is constantly disappointing you, then you kind of have to like integrate that too. Like, this person
And
is constantly
realize it.
disappointing me, realize that, like, is this something I can accept or not accept?
And what you said, I think, really nails me down is when you said, I feel lovable, or I feel I am deserving of love, or I am lovable at
Yes.
the end there.
Yeah.
I don't
Mhm.
feel that way about myself, all the time. And I'm working on that for years now, just because I was told that, in
Yes.
young years and et cetera, you're not lovable unless you, et cetera. It was conditional love that I was taught younger. Um, so I'm trying, and I've always been very unconditional love person. I don't really put conditions on the love, and that's probably why I'm a lot of the codependent tendencies, because I don't expect much from except, like fidelity, honesty, and I really need a best friend. I really need my guy to be a best friend, a best friend some way, like chatty. I love conversation, but I don't ever feel deserving of the love of the
That's the
people I
Venus
love.
and Gemini, right?
Yes, Venus and Gemini. I love that talkie. I love that talkie. And it's a turn on. It is. The intelligence talkie is a turn on. And I do need that best friend feeling, and I need freedom feeling, that I
Yes.
can live
Yes.
my life, and I love that feeling. Um, so I think you've given me some really great advice that I'm going to start working on, and I will update all of you listeners next week when we do this again. We're going to do this every week, Jennifer.
Yes.
Every week. We're going to record one every
Every week.
Wednesday. And we hope to goodness and goddesses and deities and God and angels, we hope to everything that you would love to write in, and you will write in with questions for Jennifer and me. And any if you have advice you want to offer listeners, we'll read that out too. If you've learned, if you
For
have a
sure.
story you want to
Yeah.
tell about your love life and how you found love yourself and then found the romantic love of your life, maybe, or one or two of them, three of them. The rest of them became the loves, and they were healthy loves, because that's really what I want, is a healthy love.
Hmm.
And in my life for me, and in my life for them, and in our romantic life together, I want a happy, compatible, delicious romance. And that's what everybody kind of wants, that real love. So thank you for your advice. I really love it. And again, we want you to write in. And let me not forget, I would like to thank our sponsor, Everclear. Everclear is an advice app where you can get advice from psychics and empaths, so you can get the clarity you need to create the life you deserve. We are both advisors on Everclear, Jennifer L. or Jennifer Love
Yes.
on there, Jennifer L. And I'm Lisa P. So we can give you advice there too in private.
Yeah.
And
You'll have to call.
I'll put our info in there in the description here. And again, your email address is Jennifer at the Jennifer Love two ends. It'll be in the
Yes.
description. Mine is Lisa at wereallpsychic.com. And I'll put that in the description. And we want to hear from you desperately. And we really just want to, because we want to know what your situations are, so we can help more people and you find the love you want and love within you. And Jennifer, do you have anything lastly you'd like to add?
No, no, I think this was great. As Lisa said, we'd love to hear from you. So send your questions, email your questions. Um, Nothing's off limits.
And if we don't hear from you, I'm sure I'll find something else to talk about and have. I've always had problems in love, so if you don't, I'm sure I'll have more questions for Jennifer in a week.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep you up to date on this progress with the advice you've given me, Jennifer. I'm going to keep the
Cool.
listeners and you up to date with this. You know, really looking at the little things, looking at the patterns, looking at myself and trying to not find, but realize I am worthy of love. And that's something I'm working on. So thank you for that. And listeners, and we love you. Thank you so much for always listening. And Jennifer, thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody, you have a loving day. Peace out. Bye.
Bye.